Hello class, Mr. Fessa here. I'm gonna go over general safety. That involves like on your person and in the shop. Now, the first and foremost that you need to have are safety glasses on. When you're working on a tool, on a project with a tool or around a machine, you need to have safety glasses because you don't want anything to break, fly off, and hit you in the eye. Safety glasses will protect that from happening. So I have kind of a rule: whenever anyone is working in the shop, you need to have safety glasses on at all times. Okay. Your clothing, it needs to be secured or tied back or made so that it won't get stuck in any of the moving parts of any of the tools that we have. So if you have long sleeves like I have right now, make sure that they're past your elbows so they won't get in the way. If you're wearing loose jewelry, like say my watch, if my watch is really loose, I'd want to remove it so that it doesn't get stuck on any of the parts of the machine. If you have long hair, especially when you're sanding, a lot of our sanding machines like spin in a rotating motion, and if your hair is draped down, it might get caught in one of the pulleys or one of the belts, and remove it or pull it out. So make sure that you have your hair pulled back too if it's long. All right. The other thing that we want to kind of go over is when you're operating a machine, you're the person to turn it on and you're the person to turn it off. So the operator is the only person that turns the machine on and turns it off because they know exactly what they should be doing and when they want to operate the tool. And you don't leave the machine until it comes to a dead stop. Some of the tools, they'll spin for quite a while, even when you turn the power off. So make sure that the machine comes to a dead stop, either on its own or we do something manually to stop the machine. When you're using a machine, no interruptions. I want 100% of your focus on what you're doing. Watch where your hands are. Make sure that no one's talking to you and you don't talk to somebody else. 100% attention on what you're doing. So no interruptions at any time while you're using a machine. When you are handling hand tools, for example, I have a chisel right here. If I'm using a chisel on a piece of wood and I'm removing material from a piece of wood, I want to make sure that I'm moving away from my hand when I'm making the cuts. If I move into my hand, I might like poke myself or remove some skin. So make sure you're moving away from your hand so you can clamp it by like using a vise or some type of clamp, and move the chisel away from your hand. And that goes with most tools. When you're using a hand tool to cut, you go away from your hand. Now, when you're holding a chisel, what you want to do is you want to hold the chisel so that it's in your hand and it's down at your side when you're walking. So make sure that you're holding it by the handle, down at your side, and you're walking. You don't hold it so that the blade or the sharp end is in your hand, because if you fall, your natural reaction would be to brace yourself. So you want to make sure that you hold the tool, and it could be like scissors or an awl or a knife, or in this case a chisel, down at your side, and you just walk. And you don't walk like with the motion like you usually do. You just keep it down at your side. So, holding the tool correctly, walking around, that's the way you do it. Now, most of the things that you will be doing in the shop require common sense. So make sure that you keep that in mind. Like for example, if you see a broom or a brush on the floor or a lot of wood on the floor, pick it up. You don't want someone to not see it and trip over it. So any debris that's on the floor, just make sure you pick it up so that's not in the aisleway. I don't want anyone to trip and fall over it. Also, there's no running in the shop. You know, when we really get working in the shop, the floors have a fine layer of sawdust on it, and that gets maybe a little slippery at times. So no running or fast movements in the shop. Just walk at your normal pace and you should be fine. All right. And then when you're done using tools, when you're done making your cuts or working on your project, clean up after yourself. Make sure that your area is clean. Put away the tools. Put away the supplies you have. If you have something that's yours, keep it in your locker so that it remains safe. And just have a lot of common sense about like cleaning up, doing your part. So those are basically the general safety items that we have in the shop. They'll be reinforced and repeated every day. And I hope you're paying attention, because you'll be tested on this at the end of this video, which is pretty much right now. All right, class, thank you very much.